What's going on, everybody? Welcome to schrishzen Thoughts, where I talk about stuff, and today we're going to talk about the benefits of yoga. So for starters, shout out to my subscribers, shout out to anybody new coming across this channel. Comments and feedback are always welcome. If you like what you hear, feel free to subscribe. If you do subscribe, make sure you hit the bell icon, that way you get notifications whenever I do post new videos. I do not think that I have any new subs. If I do, I am sorry for not shouting you out, but I appreciate everybody who is checking this out. So, recently hopped on to a new yoga program. Been doing yoga for almost a year now, just about every day. Within it, listening to one of the first couple videos or whatever, one of the girls talks about balancing effort and ease. And I was like, this is something that I've heard a lot in other yoga sessions that I've done when the teacher's just talking. It's like this factors into life in so many different ways, and doing it on a daily basis, I'm like, there's always a practice of balancing effort and ease. Like, that is what not only the physical aspect of the practice is, but even a mental aspect of the practice, because you're trying to balance the effort in the pose that you have to use to hold your body in the position that you're in, because all of it requires effort. But then when you look at the teachers don't really look like they're doing or trying very hard to get there, but when you're doing it yourself, you know what it feels like. So it's like, you know that they are trying, but they look like they are doing it relatively easy, with not much effort put into it at all. And the constant practice is what gets you there. So doing this every day for a year, I've seen where there's been more ease that comes in, even just with the balancing of breath to movement, learning to breathe and control your breathing, which I'm still working at and still improving on. Belly breathing is not at all easy. It's not easy to focus on, especially when you're in a position and you're tired and your focus is in so many different areas. Trying to make micro tweaks or to just even hold yourself and keep balance, to keep a focus on a specific type of breathing, it's challenging. But when you're doing it over and over again, it does become easier. So that connection, or that mention of the practice being a balance, or she was saying comedic yoga was I think balancing or something like that of effort and ease. And it happened to come up in Dragon Ball Super. Most recent manga chapter, it talks about how Ultra Instinct, which is the highest level as of now that Goku has reached, is his level of Ultra Instinct is a base level of it. We had all, as fans, wondered, like, where is he going to go from here? But he came to learn that Whis, who is the angel he followed, is a higher level of Ultra Instinct, meaning he has more control over it. He is always living in the state of it, but he has a higher level of control over his movements, over the connection between his movements and his thoughts, in a sense. The reaction time between his thought and the actual movement is extremely small. Ultra Instinct for Goku, it's fast, but not as fast as Whis. And then we learn that even on top of Whis is the Grand Priest, who's the one that's over Whis, whose control of Ultra Instinct is even higher. That connects in my head to the yoga teacher, to a yoga practitioner who's been doing it for years and is getting to that teacher status, to somebody like me who has been doing it for a year, and I'm not novice level, but I'm not anywhere near expert level. And then you have the novice level, so it's like it plays in there. The more you work at it, the more you work at it, the farther you go with it, the stronger that you get in it. Goku continues to work at being an Ultra Instinct more, and he's gotten to a point where he can easily transition into it, as opposed to when he first learned it, where he would have to have a specific type of event kind of trigger him into it. Other areas that it carries out into life, the way that or interactions with my child, trying to maintain my composure, to keep it simple. I get annoyed easily, so trying to control my annoyance when she becomes frustrating, and trying to work on constantly focusing and addressing when my annoyance arises with her, the way that I react out of that annoyance. I tend to have, in a sense, the annoyance take over, and then the annoyance guides my response. The response that I give to my child will be based around my annoyance rather than being annoyed and still being able to utilize a response that comes from a calm, cool, and collected state. When I'm able to stay calm, cool, and collected, my reactions to her aren't so bad, and things tend to go a little smoother. But there are times where she still pushes through that, and then I do get to points where I'm so annoyed that I just say, F it, I don't care about being cool anymore. I'm just gonna be kind of a subtle dick. So don't do anything to harm her, but the practice of balancing effort and ease has me focusing every day in almost all interactions that are moving in the direction of being frustrating. Working on it every day has helped me to improve, even in little bits. I'm still not great at all, but I have at least noticed a bit of an improvement in myself, where when she starts, and once I sense the annoyance building in me, it's the thought of try and keep this in check. Does it happen every time? Again, no. But the thought is one of the first ones that pop into my head. As soon as she starts something, it's like, I will sometimes react. We're like, ugh. And then it's like, I catch that and I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. Try and not let her see a reaction, because this tends to trigger her to say, now let me push your buttons more. I want to get to a point where it's less effort, where there's less effort and there's more ease in dealing with the frustrating and challenging situations with my child. Carries out also into my job. I deal with a lot of frustrated people. So people will often come and bring that frustration and kind of push it onto you based off the situation that they're in. In this area, I've become better, but there's a lot of work that I have to do, where even last week there was somebody who came in where I was so annoyed that she wouldn't let me speak, when my goal is to help people, to try and help minimize their frustration, to help trying to kind of limit the extra that they're doing. So as I'm trying to explain to her, like, yo, you're giving me kind of too much stuff, which I kind of turned out to be, I was wrong, but I wasn't wrong. I was trying to explain it to her and she just wouldn't let me. And as she's like cutting me off every time I start to speak, I can feel my heart thumping. And I'm like, all right. I've learned to, once I get to a point that they're getting to like this super level of annoyance, all right, cool, I'm gonna stop talking. I'm just not gonna say anything because you're not gonna listen to me. But the fact that I'm there, that's come from putting a lot of effort in. I will constantly put myself into situations where I'm stuck talking to somebody who is frustrated and challenging, to purposely see, can I navigate through this conversation without getting annoyed, and with controlling the way that I respond, which at work, it's easy. To me, I have work on the line. Like, my job is kind of on the line. So that's always in the back of my head of like, yo, you can't go off and say something wild. Either way, at work, I'm pretty good about it anyway. I do purposely put myself in the situation. I will ask for the difficult people, because in my head, I'm like, I'm cool enough to get through this convo where we'll probably be able to settle things by the end of it. So yes, those are 3 areas where the idea of effort and ease is played in. Am I great in any of them? No. At work, I get annoyed with a lot of people that I deal with. That one's one that I still can't avoid. I get annoyed. I have, even in my snippy response of, I'm just going to stop responding to you because you're not listening to me. To me, that's not like a, this is a nice thing to say response. It's a, I'm trying to voice to you that I'm frustrated with you and you're not listening thing to say. But it's passable, at least enough for work. My kid, you'll see. But I was good here. But no, my kid can be a challenge. And to me, kids are challenging and they're going to be a challenge. And you don't really have, the thing with them is you have time to work on getting to a less effort part, but the ease is gonna kind of come with as they get older and just adjusting with as time goes on. And then Dragon Ball Z is Dragon Ball Z. This is coming from the minds of other people anyway. But I did do a video on Ultra Instinct, if I didn't reference it earlier, Gigi Muge. Check it out. I will link it in this or put it at the end. I talked about it in a previous yoga video where I said I don't see how people don't benefit from yoga off of a yoga mat. And it's because of things like this where the idea of balancing effort and ease plays so easily into life that unless you're not paying attention to it, then I don't see how a connection can't be made. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. Comments and feedback are always welcome. Thank you for checking this out. Peace. Practice for child's home. Wait. Okay, wait. Go under.
I can't.
So yes, doing yoga has helped to work me into the area of continued focus on balancing effort and ease. There's dope coming up in the areas that it did, like in Dragon Ball Super, like in dealing with this one, and like at work. Okay.
A few moments later.
Excuse me, noise.
No.